tell us a little bit about your fintech experience at Slice, like in terms of you worked on the UPI product. I think you worked on a little bit on the collection side as well, right? So, what are your learnings about fintech in general? Educate us a bit more on that.
So again, the yeah. So the learning there was that for an Indian customer, for any customer in the world, especially in fintech, the most important thing is trust. So if there is one fine day something happens to the customer and they lose trust, they are never coming back. So each day you have to ensure, it's like that old, you could say, Munger or Warren Buffett quote, that it takes ages to build reputation but just takes one moment to lose it, right? So the entire focus that we had, how to build the app in such a way that the customer trust never erodes, and you have to make your flows, your journeys, your acquisition strategies, your reward programs in such a way that the customer believes that there is someone very ethical. You know you are ethical, but the customer doesn't. So how do you reflect that? That's the main learning we had. That how do you build every small change that you do? You need to make sure that it's in the best interest of the customer.
Got it. So to some extent, it also includes how do you essentially communicate the trust.
Exactly.
Like you said, you are an ethical person. You are trying to do everything right by the customer, but how do you make them believe you?
And the communication has to be in-app, right? You have to rely, because no one is scrolling through your social media every time seeing how reliable you are. How do you package it in your flows that are non-verbal, that are just some screens and figures and animations? How do you convey trust through those animations? That was the game.
Understood, got it. So Curie being a very new product as well, right? We've just been in beta almost for 3.5 months, close to a month.
Proud early user, yeah.
Proud early user, nice. So how did you become an early user? Like, what was your path to trust this in terms of you have put a large amount of money?
Yeah.
What took you?
So, firstly, I trust you guys, right? So you have been, I know you. So for me, it was very easy to trust. That is the one thing. And the second thing is, if you look at the product construct, so it's paying through mutual funds, your liquid funds that you have to make a transaction. If you look back in hindsight, it's the most obvious product, right? Now, when it came, it hit me like, why hasn't this been built already? Like, the money is parked in a mutual fund scheme. AMCs have been the safest. Like all these ads that you see, mutual funds, the trust problem has been solved by them already. So I trust those guys. And then the transaction is done through UPI. Again, I've been using a UPI app like 2016 already. So 8 years, 7, 9 years. So these pieces independently, you trust them already, right? And if you think about what Curie is doing, at the rails, it's just a liquid fund, and your transaction happens through a bank, through a liquid fund, the money that is parked in a liquid fund through UPI. So it's the most obvious thing out there, but it's still surprising why. It's that's the beauty, right? I think again, there's some quote I like quotes. So the more simple your app is, the better it is, right? It's the simplicity that sells.
Right. So it's interesting because I would like to mention this since you brought this up. We were thinking about different product constructs, and one of the product constructs was, hey, can we keep mutual funds? Can we provide a credit card against it? And then it can be your money is staying in mutual fund. You still have a credit card to spend from, and an MF-backed credit card. But one of the things in which we also thought about our thought process, right? What is the simplest way to communicate? Just pay via mutual fund or spend via mutual fund. That is the simplest communication. But interesting. So for you, you know the basics of how this product works. You understand the nitty-gritty of it. That's essentially what helped you in terms of taking that step, putting your money in, because you understand the money is with ICICI Prudential. It's not with us. We are not really holding you. Now, do you remember what was your first transaction experience like? Whom did you get?
Yeah, I think I just did a 10 rupee transaction to Ketan because I was trying out. I onboarded and I can't just keep on wait for a right opportunity, right? So the moment I onboarded, actually after a while I got a call from Ketan that the UPI flow is now live. So I just started, entered an amount and sent that transaction amount. Yeah. I don't remember though if it went through in the first attempt or not.
Okay. I hope it.
I think, yeah.
We'll have to look at the loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, good thing that you've been part of this journey from a super early stage. Right? Is there any other market transaction that you've made that you remember outside of the?
Yeah, I think it's usually so to settle all splitwise dues, right? So mostly I make those transactions in that case. So when I'm transacting to a peer, largely when I have some, let's say we went out probably this New Year's Eve, right? There was a party. So after that, you have to pay out the damages. So how I go, I see, okay, there's this amount. I open Curie and then
you settle it. So you're literally paying for bigger transactions also from directly from your machine.
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. No, that's great to know. Yeah. And one thing which I wanted to check was which feature stood out the most for you, or if there's one thing you liked about Curie, what would that be?
I was just thinking it's just the simplicity, like the construct itself is beautiful. Because if you think about it, and I think you have been also saying this a lot, that in bank accounts you get this nominal 3% and also like quarterly, but in Curie you're getting those 7.3. I'm saying that is the CAGR I'm seeing on the app right now. So 7.3% and that too posted daily. What's not to like about it? So that's the beauty in that. It's very simple, straightforward, and like any human being, right? There's this when there is an obvious choice, 3%, 7.3%. Like I won't call myself a very greedy person, but if this is too obvious laid out, like you would always pick the larger one.